Welcome to the bold analysis. Thank you very much for your support. I was away for the whole of Saturday. Yes, over some urgent commitment. And of course, I followed the events of Saturday from Magoha's burial and Uhuru Kenyatta's explosive speech when he actually joined Raila Odinga and the other leaders in roadside rallies that they held moments after Magoha's burial. I will come back and do maybe some recap about what I observed from Magoha's burial and a bit of the interpretations. But from here, I would want to pick discussion that many people are really talking about. I know many of our viewers have been asking me about it. Uhuru Kenyatta had a fun day in the lakeside city of Kisumu on Saturday evening, hours after that burial. And this speech here
ambayo tunataka iendelee ama namna gani? Si ni hivyo? Ya pili, mimi mnajua sasa nimestaafu, si ni kweli? Mimi nimestaafu, niko retired but I am not tired. Tunaelewana? I am retired but not, ama ni namna gani? Na sasa mimi mnajua ya kwamba party leader wangu ni nani? Mimi sikusikia hiyo. Party leader wangu ni nani? Hapana. Sikusikia sana. Party leader wangu ni nani? Namna hiyo. Kwa sababu hata kama hatuko siasa active, bado tuko kwa chama ile tulikuwa naye na bado tunaendelea kuunga hiyo chama mkono na ni Azimio. Si ni kweli?
Has been at the center of discussion for better part of Saturday about Uhuru Kenyatta coming out publicly to attend the roadside rallies. You know, I listened to it. It was consistent with even his speech while at the burial. He called Raila Odinga his party leader. And of course, that is something I had always mentioned, that I think there's more team needed to lay out the structures. And so Raila is the party leader. And Uhuru was the chairman of the party, if I'm not wrong. So it has a lot of interpretations. Many have really tried to join the dots in terms of what Uhuru was communicating. And many have also been issuing some interesting threats on what has been going on. This presence of Uhuru Kenyatta around Raila Odinga in that unsettled UDA camp. And as we expect Sunday, maybe we're also going to talk about it, but they are really unsettled. Aaron Cheriot, the Nandi, the Kericho senator, immediately while speaking in some event there, had a reaction.
Unajua mara mingi watu walikuwa wanaangalia wanasema pengine Uhuru Kenyatta ni kama yako ndani kwa hii maneno. Lakini leo amejitokeza waziwazi na amezunguka, amesema ati party leader wake anabakia kuwa Raila Odinga. Nimeangalia rais mpaka nikamhurumia. Yaani from a president to a follower of a rebel leader. Shame on you kabisa. Hiyo sio maneno ambayo wewe kama rais you should be encouraging. How can it be that when you won elections other people supported you? When William Ruto wins election, you join those that are castigating his government and saying they do not recognize him. That is the lowest standard that has ever been reached by a former president. In fact, ile benefits ambayo wanapatia yeye as a retired head of state, akiendelea na hii mambo ya resist, there is no way we can give retirement benefit to a leader of a resistance movement. Mumaisikia popote mambo kama hiyo yanafanyika. Yeye sasa ameingia ligi ya wale wa Uganda ule anaitwanga nini, Joseph Kony. Former president.
And he mentioned, and that tells you that quite a number of them, even if you check Twitter, there's a lot of discussion. Uhuru Kenyatta has been trending since Saturday. Even today, Sunday, Uhuru Kenyatta has been trending here in Kenya in Twitter. And his statement is very clear from what I saw, even him there. When he arrived in game, by the way, he was received by Tuju and Jeremiah Kioni. Jeremiah Kioni is the de facto Secretary General of the Jubilee Party. And bit of his optics were speaking volumes because he spoke out to the Kanini Kega and Sabina Chege, and one person calling them Tugeges. I don't know now. The other time, the Tugeges were some other people now. And as them trying to attack Jubilee Party as a wild goose chase, and that it was clear his allegiance with Azimio. That was, according to me, that was needed because it could be, and I was wondering, I think I analyzed this, I doubted, is Jeremiah Kioni with Uhuru Kenyatta, or do you think that Jeremiah Kioni is on his own? There is something that I've really been thinking, and I know many has been said. Questions that many have been asking is this: do you think Uhuru doesn't know that Ruto is unsettled with him around Raila, since Raila has maintained that he does not recognize William Ruto as his president? Raila has maintained that. And Uhuru Kenyatta handed over power peacefully, saying that Raila is my president, but because of constitution, I have to hand over power, and handed over power peacefully. So does it mean that Uhuru also doesn't recognize William Ruto? Do you even need to ask? Because the answer is as straight as you ask the question. So do you think Uhuru didn't know that Kenya Kwanza are uncomfortable with that? Secondly, now Uhuru clearly knows that Ruto will trigger and would rather will intensify the humiliation plagues on him. And he knows that with that, if there is anything that William Ruto will use around to attack him, it's going to that direction. Why do you think he made the appearance, knowing very well that okay, these things are here? And he seems to have had a clear message. Raila was in the city of Kisumu, and that rally, I can tell you, it was planned. Nothing happened there as a mere coincidence. It was planned because there were even a campaign caravan. Now, I want us to, in the light of these two questions, Uhuru knows very well that Ruto is uncomfortable with the Raila. And number two, he knows that Ruto is trying to attack him, and attacks have been going on. The tax question, the humiliation on the numbers that were approved to go with him to Dubai and returned and all that. So he had a very clear message he wanted to tell President William Ruto. Kindly subscribe to our channel. I want to say thank you very much for those who've stood me through that. It has been tough. I have to say it has been tough, and I can tell you when you talk about others, it's easy, but then it's you. It's been a bit of a challenge. Yeah, and we believe that everything will fall into place. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The number is the one that I've plugged there. Asanteni sana. We are ending it tomorrow on Monday. We'll end the fundraiser. Now, this is what I'm saying. Why do you think, what message is Uhuru trying to send? Number one, I am seeing when William Ruto were trying to trigger these revenge missions, he wanted to coerce Uhuru Kenyatta to push Raila, to suppress Raila Odinga. In fact, some of these discussions were, he's funding Azimio la Umoja, he's doing this, he's doing that. And part of what has been going on, in fact, I even wonder when you say Uhuru funded Azimio, Raila has been campaigning for, I don't know, Raila has campaigned both against Uhuru Kenyatta and against William Ruto. And against Mwai Kibaki. So he's been there for quite some time. In terms of the resources, I think that question should not even now emerge. But then, Uhuru is simply telling William Ruto that I am not going to back down due to that pressure. Or I am not going to submit to the blackmail, because more of the tax smoke screens has been bit of just a blackmail strategy. And Uhuru knows very well that regardless, and Ruto will persist on the revenge missions on him. The more they try, they want the person they target. In fact, I can tell you, they don't have a problem with Raila. The person that they get the targets is Uhuru Kenyatta. And the more he tries to attack Uhuru, he might consolidate the sympathy votes, or rather the percentage that Uhuru Kenyatta holds in the mountain. That's one thing Uhuru knows. Uhuru is remaining into the limelight for a simple thing, that the more you attack him, you are going to consolidate his vote. Because Kenyans always side with the oppressed. I know successfully they had projected Uhuru Kenyatta as a man who oppressed them. But as time goes, now as administration settles in, there is also a situation where they're also going to use force in terms of enforcement. So that narrative against Uhuru Kenyatta will actually be neutralized because it will lack the spark. But because there is a personal vendetta that not even William Ruto would actually be interested in, but the Rigathis would be interested in, and people who also feel Uhuru did not treat them well, that will consolidate. Now, at that point, it can be a very good vote constituency for 2027. And that's it. So that whatever happens, whoever gets power, if you don't go to him, then the things can also swing. That's one thing that is a message that Uhuru Kenyatta had. Now, Uhuru Kenyatta's presence will push Ruto back to the campaign trail. And it will Ruto back to the campaign trail because as he starts early campaign, it's going to be destabilized. And sadly, this is it. When you see Uhuru back and with Raila, it's not about what and it's not about it's about Raila's victory. This guy is just trying to consolidate the population. And what Ruto knows very well, and I've always said this, the 200,000 votes gap between Raila and Ruto are very small. If anything, it is just one constituency, one county, that is Bungoma. That's where Raila lost it. And it was also contested. So if this as a new team is going to push further and they benefit from the burden of incumbency that William Ruto will campaign on, it will be a big mess. I've always said, I may doubt 2022, but 2017, Raila might have won against Uhuru Kenyatta. Raila might have won. And both Uhuru and Raila knows that ile 2017, ni kama mzee alimshinda. And because that happened, they know very well that if you push a very strong opposition front against William Ruto and you successfully tell the population that things are not right, you will be in a position to dismantle the vote mobilization along the tribal lines as what we are seeing now, and even the social class that is being created. That's one script that there. Then I also see Uhuru presence is a strong factor to hold the Azimio grip. Azimio is leaders are now falling apart. Different interests are now playing. But when Uhuru is there is a bit of that mobilization to put it on check, and also in terms of staging a next campaign. With Uhuru, it will hold a bit of the grip because, when Uhuru walks out, I can tell you that Kalonzo will start thinking, should I think otherwise? The Eugene Wamalwas, should I think otherwise? And when they all come back in the front, it will be something different. Lastly, we are holding the population close to them because it's a good safeguards for the excesses of Ruto regime against Uhuru's men. That's it. When Matiang'i the story of Matiang'i, whether it was scripted or not, but Raila's image was there. So that's it. And someone said that before that, you could see a mobilization going on to defend CS Matiang'i. So that's my take. I'll still do another video today, so make sure you subscribe on, especially on Magoha's burial. I know I owe you that. Many people have been asking me, Kevin, we're waiting for your video on that. And I'll also try to talk to people around there what exactly happened, and also interpret some political messages from the observations in that place. So make sure you subscribe. I'm coming back with that.